boxes are around the water plant, so they're not going to go on the main roads.
Okay, all right. With that, I'll call the question. Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Ms. Boat.
Yes.
Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Mr. Liss.
It took a long time to get here, yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Comartin.
Yes.
Mr. Barcamino.
Took even a little longer to get to me. Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item 11E, tabulation of bids and recommendation in Ray purchase of one 2011 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor under the Macomb County Cooperative Bid Program for the Police Department, contract number 23-05, 2011 MY, grand total amount $20,481. Also, payment to be authorized to be made within 10 days of delivery to the recommended vendor. Bid MAC-W-8404.
Motion to approve. Discussion.
Motion by Mr. Warner.
Support.
Support by Mr. Sadowski. Discussion, Mr. Warner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Green, thank you for coming. Can you explain to the audience what the purpose of this vehicle and the circumstances behind it were?
Can you turn your microphone on?
Yeah.
Excuse me, good evening. This was a vehicle that was totaled. We received approximately $9,000 in an insurance check, and we have money left over in our fleet maintenance budget for this year. Combine those two, and we're just purchasing the vehicle, replacing it.
Okay. And the other cruiser was scrapped out?
Yes, it was totaled.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from council members?
Sure. Just
Mr.
an update.
Barcamino?
How was the officer after that wreck? Is he all right?
Fine.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Go ahead and call the question, Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Ms. Boat.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Mr. Liss.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Comartin.
Yes.
Mr. Barcamino.
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item 11F, request to approve an increase in budgeted revenues and appropriation in the amount of $9,877 budget of the Police Department to account for receipt of an insurance settlement check totaling $9,877 for damages to vehicle number 8 and consideration and adoption of a resolution approving said request. So moved. Support.
Motion by Mr. Stevens, and I'm sorry, support by Mr. Green.
Yes.
Any discussion? Obviously, this is just the receiving of the insurance payment towards that'll be used towards the purchase of that vehicle we just approved.
Correct.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Comartin.
Yes.
Mr. Barcamino.
Yes.
Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Ms. Vogt.
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mr. Liss.
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item 11G, request to approve a transfer of funds in the amount of $111,534, budget of the Police Department, Civil Defense, in order to cover the wage and related fringe benefits costs associated with the retirement of the Civil Defense Lieutenant and consideration and adoption of a resolution approving said request.
Need a motion and support?
I'll move the motion. Support.
Motion by Mr. Liss, support by Mr. Warner. Any discussion?
Discussion, please, Madam Chair.
Ms. Vogt.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
Seems we've had a lot of retirements from the department.
That's correct.
And I'm given to understand just this year alone, up through August, there'll be 23 retirees. That sound about right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, with that many retirees, and they didn't all just come in the last few months, although a lot of them,
Half of them came last week.
half of them last week.
Yes.
Is there money in your budget to cover this?
To
Without-
cover the people leaving? Yes, there is. There's money in the budget to cover the majority of people that have left currently, our command staff, and I've reduced the command staff by 23% in the last 6 months, anticipating our budget concerns, and so there is budgeted money in there as a result of the reduction of staff money that was budgeted for this year. I haven't replaced a captain, 5 lieutenants, and then I've eliminated lieutenants' positions and replace them with sergeants, saving 10%. So I've kind of reshuffled my command staff and eliminated certain positions that I didn't feel that were necessary anymore. And I did that in conjunction with the Command Officers Union, and things seem to work out because, as council knows, my goal is to maintain patrol levels on the street, and we've been successful in that. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago we hired 3 police officers, and we are in the process of hiring 6 more police officers right now. We're doing their backgrounds to maintain our budgeted 144 police officers, of which 121 serve the citizens on the road. But it was an organized and planned effort. It wasn't crisis management by any means, and these officers leaving quickly based on their assessment of legislation, I think we've been successful.
Okay, back to the question about the money.
Yeah, there is money there.
Okay, so, well then if there's money there, do we need, you're asking to transfer funds, right?
The transfer, Kevin Summers is the person retiring. He's lieutenant in charge of emergency services. His budget stands alone because it's required to stand alone. I can't anticipate when a person is leaving. The $111,000 is the computation, is contractual obligation for his final average compensation, and I can't anticipate when a person is leaving, so thus the transfer of money.
Okay, don't be so defensive.
I didn't know I was being
Okay, I'm
defensive.
just asking, I think, appropriate questions.
And I'm just giving you the right answers.
Okay, so we're taking from civilians and clerical and the shift premium.
Pardon me?
You're taking the funds from civilians and clerical?
I don't know the answer to that question. The funds are in our budget because we didn't replace command positions. They're budgeted, it's budgeted money. It's not coming from clerical. The answer is no.
So you don't need the transfer?
What's the question? Are you telling me it's coming from clerical?
That was my question to you.
And
Yes.
my answer originally was the money is already in the budget because we did not replace command positions.
Okay. If it's-
I've reduced the command level by close to $1.5 million. There's money in the budget to offset this final average compensation for the officer that left.
Okay. Commissioner, in one breath you're asking me to transfer funds, and the next you're telling me you have the money. Now,
Oh, in one breath, you're telling me not to take it easy, and I'm relaxed.
Okay,
Let's relax
good.
together.
I like you a lot when you're relaxed. All right, you're taking it from civilians and clerical.
You tell me. I don't know. I didn't know I was taking it from civilians to clerical. Mr. There you go. There's your answer right there. Come up and join me.
Yeah, the money's coming from account 1301-7602, civil and clerical account.
Okay, so are we down in clerical and civilians?
Yes.
We are. Are those positions that have been eliminated altogether?
I can't speak to that. I just know that there were funds available. There are funds available. That's why we chose that account.
Okay, so you just chose accounts where funds were available and said we need to transfer it over here.
Yes.
That's a great, simple answer.
There's still funds available.
Thank you.
in my account, though, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further comments from council members? Seeing or hearing none, I'll call the question. Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Barkamino?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Next agenda item is G1, request for appeal of denial of fireworks permit pursuant to Section 18-8D of the Code of Ordinance and court order in Dennis Robertson, doing business as Fitz Entertainment, MCCC, number 11-2555-AW.
All right. This is a request for appeal. Need a motion and support?
Motion to deny.
Well,
Well, I think we need to hear the appeal first.
I'm wondering if we even need a motion because it's an appeal. The appellants are apparently here.
Correct, yeah. If no one objects, we'll proceed and hear the appeal. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Michael Kilpatrick. I represent Dennis Robertson. I don't know how much background information you have with respect to this matter. Dennis has applied for a license to sell fireworks. He made this application on June 1st, 2011. Apparently, the application was not transported to the commissioner's office from the clerk's office until June 20th. We received a decision on June 24th, formally why he was denied. As a result of that, I just briefly go into the background. I filed a writ of mandamus to have this matter heard in Macomb County Circuit Court. I guess unfortunately for my client, or fortunately, either way, he originally drew Judge Biernat, who recused himself on Monday morning. We had a hearing this morning in front of Judge Massaroni, who ordered this matter be heard by City Council. To me, I think the statute is quite clear as to why my client should have a license. Your ordinance clearly indicates that you can, that the issue of good moral character with respect to an applicant is within the discretion of the police commission. However, there are some background information that we may be able to dispute that. According to Section 18A of your code, it indicates that good moral character is the propensity on the part of the person to serve the public in a licensed area in a fair and open and honest manner. The reasons we were given why my client was denied is no mystery. It indicated, the police commissioner indicated that he was denying his request based on convictions of Controlled Substance Act dating back to 1990, and as a result, and also 2 felonies in 2007 out of 31st District Court, as well as a minor or misdemeanor drug conviction in St. Clair Shores in 2009. Your statute, your code indicates that a judgment of guilt in a criminal prosecution or a judgment in a civil action shall not be used in and of itself. The only criteria that the commissioner gave with respect to the letter dated June 24, 2011 was the result of the conviction. So we therefore think that he should be given the opportunity to have a license. When we come before the commission, we do have the ability, or city council, we do have the ability to indicate the reason why my client has rehabilitated himself. I might add, and you can ask questions of him, he has, in essence, spent approximately $700. He got the occupancy permit. He paid the $110 for the fireworks license. He also paid $95 for a sign permit. He's been selling fireworks in Southeast Michigan for approximately 16 years, as well as in Warren. He sold fireworks in Warren from 2000 to 2006. He had one incident in Warren where his table was not up to 6 feet, which your code requires.